Welcome, Gentile and ladies, to the first ever edition, because we haven't done this before,
No,
of Tales
not
from
at
the
all.
Turnbuckle, with Luke and Max.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the name of this.
Tales from the Turnbuckle. I
We
like that. I like that.
in all honesty, we shot probably
45 minutes.
45 minutes to an hour the other night for it to tell us that YouTube failed
Pick up our recording.
to record the stream.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this yet again the safe way. So if you're watching this, this is not live. This is not a live video. Be sure to tune in 5:30 Pro Wrestling Throwdown ish. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown, because if you're seeing this video, then you're already here, and welcome to what we call the zoo around here.
Make sure you hit that like button. If
also
you haven't
subscribe.
yet, subscribe.
You can chat if you're do the live streams on Sundays. If you want to chat with everyone, you have to be a subscriber. So make sure that you subscribe, like the stream. It helps us with the YouTube algorithms. And thank you so much for tuning in today. We're going to have a very interesting episode. Max, why don't you set us up?
Well, this is all new. Tales from the Turnbuckle, like we said. What we're gonna do. This is gonna try to keep this a regular thing. Stories, history, all wrestling related, very specifically wrestling related. Different history things. Today is specifically on something I found on HBO Max. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
It could be though, because I am a promotional whore, and I will sell the shit out of all your shit.
Yeah, Max. Now that they've conglomerated with Warner Brothers and Discovery, they brought a lot of new television shows and stuff to Max. One of which is where you got the idea for this.
It's I think it's like a few years older show. That's Mysteries of the Abandoned. Specifically Hidden America.
Hidden America.
And in one of the episodes, it talks
Episode 3.
Episode 3?
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
And I think it's maybe the third story.
Yep.
It talks specifically about the Midwest Coliseum.
Mid-South.
Or Mid-South Coliseum, I'm sorry. And some very specific things. First, let's talk a little bit about the Mid-South Coliseum.
Let's hit it. What we got?
Let's see. Computer went out on me. There we go. Facility opened in 1964. Was very specifically built for wrestling events.
Right.
Had all other sporting events and whatnot, but was actually built with wrestling specifically in mind.
Which back in the day, for those kind of arenas and stuff, like in Texas and stuff, they did the Sportatorium in Texas. Comes to mind.
It was in the early 60s, where everything all over the area was all segregated. The colored people. I'm not politically correct. I'm sorry. And plus, I'm reading off of here.
Yes.
Coloreds were not allowed to sit with white patrons. And
like literally, they either had their own section or they had to sit back.
Whites got to sit down here by the ring and basically wherever they wanted to, whereas black patrons had to sit up in the balcony or nosebleed sections everywhere they went. To all sporting events, all in the area. On the other side of the country, there was a few exceptions and whatnot.
Right.
But at that time in Memphis, everything was still highly segregated. You weren't, if you were a white patron to anything, you weren't even you were frowned upon to even hang around with black patrons anywhere. You weren't allowed to go to black bars. You had to go to whites only. It was highly frowned upon, which is one of the reasons why the Mid-South Coliseum is so special.
Yeah, historically special, yeah.
And wrestling related, we're going to get into that. First, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that happened in the Mid-South Coliseum. It was so big at the time. Rolling Stones played there. Rod Stewart, Elvis Presley played there.
It wasn't the one of the last few stops on the Beatles' final American tour after John Lennon made that the Beatles are more popular than Jesus comment and stuff, where they actually thought gunshots had taken place in there, but actually it was just somebody who had thrown a firework on stage. Pretty cool story.
Elvis's famous live on stage in Memphis was recorded there at the Mid-South Coliseum. Something I didn't know until today.
Pretty sure even the Jackson 5 was there.
There's a ton of wrestling events. Under who was it?
The United States Wrestling Association of the USWA, right. And its predecessors, Jerry Lawler headlined. Oh my God! Probably over 10,000 shows in the facility between 70 and 91 probably. It was really, really big and rich in history in Memphis because Jerry was known as the king of Memphis wrestling. So the Mid-South Coliseum has seen countless things, which we'll get into here in a little bit when we get deeper into some of the stuff that took place there.
What is our next picture?
Next, we're going to talk about the gentleman who...
okay, then hang on just 1 second. I want it to be, before we get to that, the very significance of the Mid-South Coliseum. As I said, everything is segregated at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The Mid-South Coliseum, when they're building these stadiums, one of the most important things at the time they think about is where are we going to put the black patrons?
Yes.
For seating. So the Mid-South Coliseum was the first arena in the area to desegregate all seating.
That's awesome. So what you're saying is the first place where black and white patrons could sit shoulder to shoulder.
Yes, should they choose to. Black patrons got to sit wherever they want to. Naturally, that kind of pushed out some of the white patrons. Something to bring a lot of stuff together was a man known as Roscoe, real name, Sputnik Monroe.
This is a picture of Sputnik. Now, Sputnik, that's an interesting nickname. The name Sputnik, was that have to do with the Russian satellite?
It was given to him for the satellite.
Well, see, I remember anytime I hear the word Sputnik, I always think Sputnik 1, the satellite.
Oh, well, think of the timing. Late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Late 60s, even. That it was all related to Sputnik.
That's
was
awesome.
Going on at a time.
What do we know about Sputnik Monroe?
Sputnik, born December 18th, 1922, passed away in 2016 or 2006.
2006.
In his sleep, peacefully, I believe.
Always the best way to go.
He was born in Dodge City, Kansas. His dad died he was killed in an airplane accident just a couple months before he was born, so he never got to meet him.
Never got to meet his dad.
He mostly lived with his grandparents until his stepdad adopted him. He was age 17.
Right on.
There wasn't not a whole lot about his early life that we could really
find. It did say that he had a brother named Gary Jet Monroe, correct?
He did.
Who was his manager for a while?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Manager for
kind of keep it in the family kind of thing. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as pro wrestling, when did he debut?
Roscoe debuted under Rock Monroe, 1945. He started as in a traveling carnival.
For those of you who don't know, back in those days, professional wrestling was a carnival act.
And forgive me, I forgot my glasses.
Was a carnival act back then. Professional wrestling was. It was basically ways to pop a crowd between two men where they could make bets, and then everyone involved would clean up. So he was under Rock Monroe. So where did the Sputnik name come in?
Sputnik came in. Help me read this. I got you.
It looks like it says here he changed his name to Rocky Monroe in 1949 and then adopted the nickname Sputnik in 1957.
Yes.
So,
directly because of this.
Because of the satellite. So that means that for the rest of his career, which he actually didn't even retire until 1988, which that's a hell of a span from 1945 to 1988.
He refed for a good part of his last few years, I believe.
Yeah, well, he come back for a retirement match in 1988, but it wasn't very fan. It didn't have a lot of fanfare or anything behind it. But to debut in 1945 and retire in 1988, that's what, 43 years in the business?
Yeah, he had a good run.
If I'm mistaken on that, I'm sorry, my math is terrible. Was he survived by anybody, or
He did have some kids, I do believe, didn't he?
Yeah.
Here, Quentin Bell.
Quentin Bell. Now
was
he's
also a pro wrestler.
The youngest of three.
Mm-hmm.
Monroe did train his son. His son died September 10th, 2022.
That's why I didn't write that down. I wasn't going to mention that before because it's sad.
It's. But I mean, said that he had died November 3rd, 2006, peacefully in his sleep, 77 years old.
The man had several accomplishments.
Let me throw out some of these accomplishments.
Because this is a list a mile long.
NWA Southern Tag Team Champion, Florida Tag Team Champion, NWA World Tag Team Champion on 2 different occasions. He was also
NWA Alley Club.
Yeah, NWA South Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Heavyweight and Tennessee Tag Team Champions with Tommy Gilbert. Was NWA Junior World Heavyweight Champion once. Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2017, and then
WWE Hall of Fame 2018.
Which would have been in the Legacy.
Yes.
In the Legacy department. But I mean, not to mention,
Southwest Sports Inc.,
Memphis
States
Hall of Fame,
Wrestling.
94. I mean,
there's
insane
a humongous list here. Why are we have got the 2 of these connected? Because Sputnik was known to. Well, this is explain the shot here.
This is what this would be a normal crowd shot. Say you're there in the heyday. This is what the outside of the Coliseum would look like on a professional wrestling day, and they usually did shows 2 to 3 times a month. So if you do shows 2 to 3 times a month with crowds like this, the significance